On Tuesday, musket shots rippled through the air in Charlestown at the ceremony of the Battle of Bunker Hill, which turned the tides of American confidence in the early years of the Revolutionary War.
We're standing on the Bunker Hill battlefield, and 250 years ago, this was the site of one of the most bloody battles in the American Revolution, with British regulars clashing against colonial Americans. Both sides suffered terrible losses. For the British, about 40% casualties, 226 men killed, 828 wounded. Colonial Americans suffered 140 killed, 305 wounded. Really a battle that really defined what was at stake in the American Revolution, and arguably there's no July the 4th without June the 17th.
Hundreds gathered at the Bunker Hill Monument in memoriam of the bloody battle, joining to honor those soldiers killed and to reflect on how Bostonians still carry the spirit of the American revolutionaries all those years ago.
At this first glance, the monument may appear austere, a towering relic of a distant past. But to those who look more closely, it is a living symbol. It represents resilience in the face of hardship, the cost of conflict, and the enduring necessity of peace. It reminds us not only of patriots who stood against tyranny, but also of the consequences when we fail to uphold the values they fought for.
Revolutionary spirit surged through the event as cannons used in the Revolutionary War were on display, and musical performances echoed through the grounds. American and Union Jack flags populated the area underneath the monument, a visual representation of lives lost on both sides.
It's so meaningful to be here 250 years after this really became hallowed ground, with just so many Americans who didn't know whether they would succeed laying down their life on this hill for an idea and for freedom. And you know, it really, like, even though the colonial army sort of lost the battle, really it's the moment when the British started thinking about evacuating Boston, and it really shifted the momentum towards this American dream that we're all living 250 years later.
Attendees spoke of the emotion the day brought, the same principles of the initial fight that are alive and evolving today in our society.
That the American Revolution was never meant to be a moment. It was always meant to be a movement toward a more perfect union. That work continues, and it calls to each of us today and every day to serve its cause. From those who serve in the police stations and the firehouses, to those who volunteer on the football fields and in the hockey rinks, who show every day through their actions what service to others truly looks like. So today, as we look up at the monument that pierces the sky behind me, let us not see it only as a stone obelisk, but as a promise that we will never forget where we come from, and that we will never stop striving to be worthy of the legacy forged here in the blood of farmers, blacksmiths, and everyday citizens.
Solemn notes rang at the end of the ceremony, evoking a sense of tranquility and a return to loved ones for a group of brave young souls who sacrificed their lives 250 years ago so that we could become a nation.